Ron, thank you. Church leaders tonight across the Mid-South are remembering the life and legacy of Dr. Steve Gaines. The former Bellevue Baptist pastor and president of the Southern Baptist Convention died earlier today after a battle with cancer. He was 68 years old. Action News 5's Garner Montgomery live in studio now with words of remembrance from friends and colleagues of Dr. Gaines. Garner.
Today I spoke with 4 church leaders in 4 different cities in the Mid-South who all meet once a week with Dr. Gaines over Zoom to pray for the city of Memphis. Mid-South church leaders describe Dr. Steve Gaines as a unifier, saying the longtime senior pastor of Bellevue Baptist Church brought together pastors and congregations across denominational lines during his lifetime.
We prayed together, partnered together, we preached in conferences together, just a dear friend.
He united us in truth and purpose and love around the gospel for the sake of mission, for the sake of bringing the healing power of the gospel to our city.
Dr. Gaines died Friday after a battle with lung cancer. Those who knew him best say he was true to his faith and lived out what he preached every Sunday.
He was faithful in the Word. He believed the Bible. He read it. He taught it. He preached it. And he lived it. And I saw it lived out.
Dr. Stan May, who knew Gaines for 50 years, says he and over a dozen pastors would pray for the city of Memphis every Tuesday over Zoom.
He was brokenhearted when there wasn't racial reconciliation. He was brokenhearted when crime waves would hit. He would pray for the city. I've heard him pray hundreds of times for Memphis.
His colleagues say Dr. Gaines leaves a large legacy both in Memphis and the broader church community.
He's going to be remembered as a man of prayer, a man who was a powerful preacher, who loved people, who poured into everyone that he met. Everyone felt like Steve Gaines was their best friend.
He's going to be remembered as a visionary and a prayer warrior who was really concerned about revival for Memphis and the Mid-South area.
Bellevue Baptist Church will be holding a memorial service this Sunday at 6 p.m. following a visitation starting at 4. Reporting live in studio, Garner Montgomery, Action News 5.